You ready? Are you ready?
Yep. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Maysville Board of Commissioners, Thursday, the 14th of October, 2021. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you might turn it up a little bit.
Can we repeat?
No, you're fine.
Our invocation will be by Chief Muse.
Father in heaven, we so grateful to be able to be here tonight. For the opportunity to be able to meet as a city to discuss the concerns and needs of this great community. We ask that the Spirit of the Lord be with all of our commissioners, our elected officials, our mayor, and all of our administrators, that we may be able to make good, wise decisions for this city. And this we pray humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Chief Muse. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cartmel,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
Here.
Commissioner McKay,
Here.
Mayor Cotterill,
Here.
City Manager Wallingford,
Here.
City Attorney Cottle,
Here.
Controller Stanfield, HR Director Rose,
Here.
Project Coordinator Horde,
Here.
Police Chief Muse.
Utilities, Joy.
Oh, Carol.
Here. Thank you. All items approved will be done by an undebatable motion and pass unanimously. Second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cartmel,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner McKay.
Yes, ma'am. I'd just like to make a note here. Matt, is there any way that you could change that first sentence in future meetings and delete the word undebatable in case we want to have questions or anything?
I'm going to defer to Lisa on that one.
I think you can have questions. Debatable means you can't, I guess you can't argue about, you know what I mean? You can ask a question, but it's not a back and forth kind of.
That's why I guess that's why it's considered the consent agenda, that consent is given, but yeah, I mean, I don't, yeah,
Feel free to ask questions.
yes,
that's fine.
absolutely.
We
But
don't
then it
have
says
to
passed
consent though,
unanimously.
I mean, can't we segregate these appointments?
We'll do it however you want.
Okay.
You can pull them out if you want to
Okay.
and do it as a separate
Sure.
motion.
I thought we'd already done that one time.
We had talked about
Yeah.
that.
No, but we can, however you
I think
all
we
want us to
did.
do it, we'll put it to whatever the
Well,
five of you
we
wants to
can
do.
approve this and then like to make a motion that we, from now on, segregate those out.
What do you want?
Do you want them all separate? Like if we have 5 or 6 or?
Your appointments and reappointments.
Just that one?
Can we go ahead and finish the
Yeah,
vote
sorry,
and then
yes.
discuss, please?
Yes.
And Mayor Condon.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so you're just looking at the appointments and reappointments to just to
Yes.
pull them out and leave the minutes and department reports in as the consent agenda? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you want, like, if there's 4 or 5, do you want those all separate motions then?
Well, just
Or
like we
just one-
always did it
one
before.
motion?
Yeah, just, no,
Okay.
I like to do them individually,
At
I don't
the-
know what's the will of the commission.
Yeah, what's the
That's-
consent? Is that,
What
At the
everybody else
end of the
wants.
month, we will probably have at least 3.
okay?
Okay.
I just
Yeah,
want
I
to,
like
I
that.
just like to
That's
know
fine.
how
I would-
you.
sure.
want
I would
them.
too.
That's fine. We'll
All
do
right.
it however you guys want us to do it. That is
Okay.
perfect. Yeah, we'll take care of it.
Thank you.
No
Thank you
problem.
all.
Were there any other questions?
Oh, can I say something? We still have votes.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
I read off Chief Muse's report. He gave a very detailed report about our drug situation in Maysville. And he gave it on maps in every place. And Jared, what can we do to help curtail or do something with what it looks like it's getting worse or something?
So the reason that I sent such a detailed report is because in the month of September, we have had 2 suspected overdoses. One of them occurred on the Hill, one of them on the East End. Both of them are untimely deaths. We don't know for sure if they're overdoses, but it's suspected and we'll know within the next few weeks. So after looking at that and looking at what some of the calls that we've been answering throughout the city, it's apparent, and it has been for a while, that we're inundated with drugs. And right now, we're looking at a lot of meth use, but we're also seeing fentanyl kind of creep in and in the disguise of pills. And so you're starting to see some overdoses, and we're having to use some Narcan, and unfortunately, people are dying. So I thought that it would be a good idea to kind of pinpoint where we're seeing some of this drug activity. And as you've seen on the maps, it's everywhere. It's not just in the East End. It's not just on the West End. It's on the Hill. It's everywhere. So we have a huge problem. And so thinking about that and also thinking about our homeless issue that's going on currently, I felt like if we don't take care of our drug problem first, then everything else is just, it's just kind of like we're spinning in a circle. So I say that because if we're addressing our homeless, who I would say 90% probably have some type of an addiction problem, and the other 10% may have some type of mental issue going on. And if we're finding them homes, whether it be through church groups or the Welcome House, and we're putting them in homes, we're having issues that the houses are becoming drug houses. And we're doing search warrants and we're end up putting people in jail. So my big thing to you all, and I don't care who it is, it's time for Maysville to have some type of drug rehab here, to where we can address the main problem, which is addiction. And once you address addiction, then you can address the homelessness and the mental health. So that was my whole purpose in letting you guys see the report and how detailed it is. So that's.
Well, it wasn't an eye opener. It was fact.
Yeah.
That
So-
we have a problem.
And that was what I was taught as a young police officer was, hey, Jared, if you don't stay on top of the drug problem that's going on throughout the city of Maysville, then you're going to start seeing increased check cases, thefts, violence. So you got to keep your thumb on the drug problem. Well, it's the same concept with dealing with the addicts right now. If we don't take care of what the root problem is, which is addiction, then everything else, we're just kind of spinning in a circle.
Okay.
So that was my,
So I think now we're just moving them from neighborhood to
That's it.
neighborhood to
That's it.
neighborhood.
and then we're getting calls and we're ended up going and doing search warrants on these houses and arresting folks, which, like I said, I'm not putting anybody down for having an addiction problem. I'm just saying, let's find something to help these folks. And once we can address that, we can address everything else.
What are you going to do when the cold weather hits? I notice early in the morning, there's always a bunch of people under the bridge and down on the riverbank.
Yeah, we're gonna have some issues. That's why I'm pleading with you all to make a decision of trying to, or we need to get a rehab here. I don't care who it is, who they are. We need to get somebody here to help these folks. And then let's address the other issues.
Well, earlier we did talk about a rehab and it's just sort of gone away.
Yeah.
So now we need to address it.
Yeah.
We really do, folks.
It's just my opinion.
Okay, on this is still talking about your job
Sure.
is what about all these catalytic converter thefts? I mean, tens of thousands of dollars.
So what do you think this is related to?
Yeah,
It's your addiction problem, and
Yeah.
that's how they're paying for their drug of
Drugs.
choice.
well, I mean, I'll just tell you, I saw a truck downtown last week that had 2 catalytic converters laying in the bed.
Yeah.
And I know somebody's buying them, and I know Cincinnati last week passed an ordinance that if you have a catalytic converter, that you do not have the title for the vehicle, they will arrest you.
Rest you. Right.
And I'm just, do you think something like that is needed here?
I think we're probably right there. I think so.
Okay,
I would agree.
Did you call the chief when you saw those cows?
no, because we don't have any law against it, see. We need something with some teeth in it. Yeah.
I agree.
And
So- Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Chief Muse has been meeting with some of the groups and that work with this population. And I've gone and visited with Comprehend. Chief Muse, Matt and I have signed up for Kentucky League of Cities training on the drugs and how that is affecting homelessness coming up. So there are some things in motion, but there's going to be a big need for more. And there's also probably where I know a few years ago they talked about it and maybe the funding wasn't available then, but there's some opportunities out there for funding now. So maybe we'll have a little better luck than we did before.
Well, what's in motion? Because I haven't heard anything being in motion.
There's discussions going on, and that have been ongoing since Charles was mayor. The thing is, we're not going to be the ones to be in the business of a rehabilitation center.
Exactly.
We want to work with anybody who wants to come here.
Exactly.
And we've met with, with Charles, I think we met with 3 or 4 potential outfits that provide these services. And we haven't had any luck landing one here. I see our job as being the logistical side of it to help an entity locate somewhere here in Maysville, and we will most definitely do that. Depending on the status of the outfit, if they're a 501c3, we would be able to donate. If they're a private entity, we would not. But we have been in contact and we continue, and we're more than willing to work with somebody to come in. A lot of these companies that offer these services, they're looking at data. They're looking at data to see because if you take a private company, they're going to look and see if they can, make money off of it. Whereas, obviously a 501c could take donations and that sort of thing. But yes, ma'am, this is at the top of the list, and we continue to try to work with anybody who would like to come to Maysville.
So when's the last time you talked to somebody?
Well, again, they've got to have interest in here. I would say it's probably been 6 months, be
Yeah.
my guess, Ann.
And as far as, it was Charles's expertise. So
Yes.
for me, I had a learning curve
Yeah.
about all of it, and that's what I've been trying to do. And then the other piece of that is the funding has just been probably in the last month or 6 weeks that we found out that that's going to be coming. And so that might entice some of those that they visited before
Yeah.
to rethink it. And then again, that was part of my visit with Comprehend was to kind of voice my concern. They had the same concern. And so, I don't know if anything will happen there, but we're at least sitting down and talking about it and trying to move forward.
Well, now KHC gave $169,000 grant here to help homeless, didn't they?
It wasn't to the city.
No, it wasn't to the city,
No.
but it was to a group that was,
Yeah, it wasn't us.
that was
Yeah.
housing people. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I mean, there is money flowing.
Right.
Yeah.
And, we would be glad to direct people to where that money's coming from and get
Mhm.
them to apply. We work closely with Buffalo Trace Ad on that. And, and even if we have to be a pass-through, we can do that as well, a pass-through for a nonprofit to get something established.
Well, we've been talking about this for almost a decade,
Probably, yeah.
and it's good that it's back on the front burner. But
Yeah.
if we have to be the leader without donating money, we need to take that lead.
And I totally agree with that.
Instead of, I mean, I know.
but we
Comprehend
can't-
and them's treating to this, I mean, everybody treats to the street. I mean,
Sure.
They treat them and put them right back on the
Yeah.
street. There's got to be a facility like Chief Muse said.
I think everybody is in agreement with that, but I can't make a company from Ashland come here and locate.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
now that it's back on the
Yeah.
forefront.
Oh, we definitely, we're a player in this game. Absolutely.
Have we ever
Thank you.
had anybody interested?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
They
we had
couldn't
a.
get funding. One that Charles got
Mhm.
actually picked a building and, but then couldn't get funding.
Correct.
Both locally or nationally.
Going back to what Commissioner McKay said, there was a group probably 15 years ago was looking to locate
Yeah,
here.
didn't she
and-
come down here and talk to us?
No, this was
Linda,
this was a
somebody
different,
else?
this was a different outfit and got turned away because of zoning laws. And we're trying to loosen those to allow companies or individuals to come in and locate here. There were at least two, when I was doing planning and zoning years ago, that got turned away. One was in the city, one was in the county. We've,
Well,
Yes, that
Matt,
was for the-
we had a good place, but we had resident pushback.
and what we've got to get the community to understand is that is the not in my backyard can't come into play. Everybody is affected, just as Chief Muse
They're
said.
already in our yard.
Socioeconomics does not
They're
come into
already
play.
here.
They're in the richest neighborhoods. They're in the poorest
Exactly.
neighborhoods.
Look
There
at
are
Jared's
ideal-
report.
There are ideal places. I mean, there's an
Yeah.
ideal place on top of the hill
Oh,
right
yeah.
across from the hospital.
Yep.
We just need to get the owner to be a partner and donate a part of that or sell or get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's right across the street.
We know who the owner is and yeah.
But that's.
And I believe we
that's an
would,
issue.
we would keep it hopping and busy and we would, it'd be such a resource.
Sure. Oh, I think we're all in agreement. Absolutely. But we're not stopping.
We'll take the down payment, make a down payment out of Chief Muse's budget.
Let's do it.
Buy about 5 acres out there.
Okay.
Thanks,
Any other
Chief.
questions?
Good questions.
Thanks,
Good
Jared.
questions.
Okay, public announcements.
I know it's driving me crazy.
I do have a note that I received that I want to share with you guys. Mayor Cotterill, on behalf of our neighbors and on Cherokee Drive and South Shawnee Road, we would like for you and the city commission to know how much we, Jim and Janice Rawlings, appreciate the very professional installation of the 2 catch water basins on Cherokee Drive and the 2 catch water basins on South Shawnee Road. Our thanks to David Horde and others on their planning of this project and the city employees who worked installing the pipes for the runoff water and stand-in water on Cherokee Drive. So far, the correction measures taken seem to be working. We have had a couple of downpours, and thanks again for getting this problem solved before another year approaches. Respectfully, Jim and Janice Rawlings and neighbors.
Good.
So thank you, David, and your team and Public Works for getting that done.
Absolutely.
Appointments.
Deborah,
sorry.
did you have another one or are you good there? Because I
I'm
think,
good. I'm
yeah.
good there for tonight, I think.
okay. Commissioner Cartmell, was there an announcement that you wanted to make?
I mean, I will, I just as soon you make it if all the Ts are crossed and Is dotted.
Well, there's, I think we've been, we're going to be given a life-size statue, bronze statue of Simon Kenton that's going to be donated to the city. And Lacey has worked with this individual to place it out in front of what was the old courthouse on Main Street in Washington. There are some tax forms that the individual will, once we receive it, we'll have to fill out, and Penny can correct me if I'm wrong, in order for us to provide a tax write-off.
Has he been apprised of that yet?
Not yet,
Okay,
not
I
yet,
just want to make sure before we announce it that,
not yet.
okay,
So that's where we are on that.
all right,
That's all I have, Mayor.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Appointments, audit committee and ambulance committee.
Yes, we have, unfortunately, we do have openings on both those committees. On timely passing of Charles, he served on the audit and ambulance committees, so we do need an appointee to both of those. I believe Andrew is our other appointment on the audit and the ambulance committee.
There's only one.
There's only one. Okay.
Well, I would like to finish Charles's term on those if that's, if the commission agrees.
That's totally up to to you all.
Is that something, a motion needs to be made, or we could just,
Yes, yes.
if anybody has any other nominations, I would make a motion to confirm Mayor Cotterill to the audit committee and the ambulance committee.
Or just the ambulance, right?
No.
Both of them.
Both
Yeah,
of
we
them.
have a
Okay.
vacancy on both of them.
All
Yes,
right.
yes.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer?
Yes,
Commissioner Cartmel?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes,
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Cottrell?
Yes, ma'am. Discussion of November meetings.
This year, both of our meetings in November fall on a holiday. Our first meeting is November the 11th on Veterans Day, and our second meeting is November the 24th. I think that's right, 25th. Thank you, which would be Thanksgiving. Last year, we canceled our second meetings in November and December because both fell on a holiday, one at Thanksgiving, the other one at Christmas. We definitely need to reschedule the November 11th meeting. If you guys have any preference on when you'd like to have that.
Can we just have one meeting for that month?
That would be my recommendation for
Okay.
both months, David. And then
Okay.
if we need to have a special meeting, we can have that called.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Well,
Can
we
you
need to,
move-
we
can you
need to.
Move them to the third Thursday of the month, or do you want them sooner? a
What-
different day?
it-
The
Do
only
you-
thing on the third Thursday is this, there's already a meeting here at,
That's right, at
Five.
4:30.
At 5:15.
5:15, okay.
what about the 10th?
Yeah, how about,
Wednesday.
is Wednesday the 10th?
there's a Board of Architectural Review at 5:30.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
My next
Right.
question is, can we move them?
How about
Can these be an
midnight?
afternoon meeting? or do
Sure.
You want to keep it?
Yeah.
at
That's,
5:15?
yeah, no, that is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Is if we have it like maybe right after lunch or early in the morning, whatever works best for the five of you. Absolutely.
That's
What's-
good.
That's
I'm
fine.
flexible. I
Yeah.
can use mine.
You want to do is
Wait a minute, are
Oh,
we
I'm
talking
sorry.
the 11th,
10th?
the 10th?
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
any day.
The
don't
10th I
care.
can do anytime.
1:00?
That's
That's
fine.
Is that okay with everybody, Andrew?
Would noon be better for you, Victor? That way you can take.
I
it
usually go to lunch from 1 to 4. I mean, 1 to 2.
Would you rather do noon?
If they're listening, that was a joke.
Would you rather do noon?
No, 1 o'clock.
1
would be
o'clock,
fine.
fine? Okay.
That'd be fine. That suits everybody.
That's fine.
Or
Okay.
noon, I mean, I don't care.
Okay, so for the first November meeting, we'll do the Wednesday, the 10th at 1 PM.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, since we have November the 11th as a holiday, do we schedule the buses to run then?
Yes, they will be running.
They'll be running.
Yes, they'll be running. Mhm. And then the other meetings, do you just want to go on and cancel for the time being, the 2nd November and 2nd December meetings? And then if we have something that comes up,
Yes.
we can always call a special meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you need a motion for
Kelly,
that?
should we motion that to cancel those two meetings? Yeah. Okay, that's fine, David.
So
Go ahead.
moved.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes,
Commissioner Cartmel,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes,
Commissioner McKay,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Cottrell.
Yes, ma'am.
So with that second meeting in December, then the Thursday, the 23rd?
Correct. In city, yes, city hall is closed, yes.
Are we setting December's tonight too? or
No,
what?
our first meeting in December will be fine. The 9th is good.
Good.
Okay, discussion trick or treat.
All right, we have traditionally held Halloween on Halloween. Last year, upon Chief Muse's recommendation, we moved it up an hour. We did it from 5 to 7 because it was a Saturday night. You have a lot more traffic out. I know the county is 6 to 8 PM. So I wanted to see if you all were open to just knocking this out tonight. Sunday through Thursday, if Halloween falls on a Sunday through Thursday, have it from 6 to 8. If it's a Friday night or a Saturday night, because of the extra traffic and the people that are out, have it from 5 to 7. How does that sound with everybody? Would you, is your opinion, okay, yeah, would you be better with, okay.
So that was Friday and Saturday.
Friday night and Saturday nights would be 5 to 7 PM. Sunday night through Thursday night, depending on Halloween falls, would be 6 to 8. And that puts us in line with the county as well.
okay. that's
Everybody
good.
good?
Yes,
Okay.
Well, my,
Motion. It's not something that's said in, it's not in, an or no. Okay. All right. Do you have a motion for that?
yeah, I'll make,
Make motion? Okay.
Second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
yes,
Commissioner Cartmel,
yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
yes.
Commissioner McKay,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Cottrell.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to say that the candy I ordered is in a ship off the coast of Los Angeles. So
You're out of order. That's not on the agenda.
there's a supply chain mix up.
I saw
They
your,
had some at
I saw
Kroger
your Halloween collection
and
from the
other stores in
college
town.
job fair.
don't
David,
grab
you-
that out of the boxes over there.
David, you might check your back seat. It might be in there.
Oh.
Okay, update facade grant and commercial
Jimmy
improvement
Hoffa was
grant.
back there too.
All right, Caroline, I'm gonna let you go first if you want to talk about your program.
Okay, well, again, thank you all for passing that we could use that money for our downtown buildings. As you know, there was $100,000 to be spent. And I'm happy to tell you that we had 12 applications. So that's 12 properties that wanted improvement. And it just so happened that with the amounts that they asked for, you might remember there's a 50-50 split. We would do 50, they have to put up at least 50. Of the 12 there, over half of them asked for the full amount or received the full amount that we would give them, which is $10,000, meaning that over 7 or 8 properties are doing projects of at least $20,000. So I think that'll put a nice shine onto our downtown. The other ones had smaller projects, so they didn't ask for quite as much. But all in total, again, it was coincidental, but from what they asked for and what we could give for the maximum, we're going to be able to fund every single one of them.
That's great.
Everybody that applied is going to get some funding for their projects. And there are roofs, there are windows, there are front doors, there are windows for display. And I think it'll make a big difference. And I thank you for that. And I think everyone will notice that.
Very good, thank you.
And
Now,
on the facade side, on the residential facade program, we had to cut it off at 21 applications and $40,521. So there will be 21 residences that will get some money for work to be done.
What was that amount?
40,521.
Very good, thank you. Resolution awarding bid for dump truck 21-67.
A resolution awarding bid for dump truck, whereas the City of Maysville Public Works Department advertised for bids in accordance with plans and specifications as follows: A, dump truck; B, advertised September 24, 2021; C, bid opening October 4th, 2021. Whereas the following bid was received: number one, Freightliner for $64,850. Whereas Matt Wallingford, City Manager, and Dennis Truesdale, Public Works Manager, has recommended the award of the bid to Freightliner. Now therefore be it resolved by the City of Maysville, Kentucky as follows. One, the bid of Freightliner in the sum of $64,850 for the subject contract described above is hereby accepted on behalf of the City of Maysville. Two, the mayor is hereby authorized and directed forthwith to execute all contractual documents necessary or appropriate to effectuate acceptance of said bid and to consummate the contract on behalf of the City of Maysville.
So moved.
I'll second for discussion.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this a new dump truck?
No.
So what's the used dump truck? Yes. What's the mileage?
Hold on just one second. Mr. Applegate has it. And this will double as a dump truck and a snowplow.
Are we convinced this is the best bid?
What's the only bid?
Yeah.
It'll
That's the
it'll
only
have
one
to
we
be,
got?
yes. We advertise, we put it out there. And I know Dennis and Bentley both took a couple trips to look at this to make sure everything would work out. They were satisfied with it. So, yeah.
Bentley, do you know who it came from? Who the previous owner was? Okay, I'd like. Oh, okay. I'd just like to know if it was a municipality or, private.
I mean, there's a difference between 82,000 road miles and 82,000 snowplow miles,
Mhm.
I would assume.
It doesn't have a plow on it now, does it? Oh, okay.
So did you check the dump box and the box liner for any damage or anything? Rust, everything? What horsepower is it? Horsepower? That's right. I want to know. So shut up.
Probably 300.
No, it's an assault.
300.
It'll get worse if it keeps bouncing off. 300, good. Bentley, aren't you impressed I'm asking these questions?
You didn't ask
Because
me.
the next question, does it have aluminum body? It does?
What color is it?
Because
Okay.
you
I'm
said
just
there you
curious.
don't know squat about a dump truck.
No, I do
So
not.
Lisa, where are we with this?
Okay,
That's
we're
what they
ready.
get paid.
We
I
need
mean-
to
I mean, do
call
we-
roll.
Go.
Yes, roll call.
Yeah,
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
yes.
Commissioner Cartwell,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner McKay,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Cottrell.
Yes, ma'am. Resolution authorizing EDA funding application for water system improvements 21-68.
A resolution of the City of Maysville, Kentucky, authorizing the mayor to pursue a funding application through the Economic Development Administration, EDA, for water system improvements. Whereas there are funds available from the EDA for water system improvements if the city agrees to match 20% of said funds and to supply engineering services. Be it resolved by the City of Maysville that the mayor is authorized to sign and execute any and all documents pertaining to application between City of Maysville and the Economic Development Administration for water system improvements pertaining to the area west of the City of Maysville from the AA Highway to Kentucky Route 8.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes,
Commissioner Cartwell,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner McKay,
Yes.
Mayor Cottrell.
Yes, ma'am. Resolution authorizing EDA funding application for expansion of tourism industry 21-69.
A resolution of the City of Maysville, Kentucky, authorizing the mayor to pursue a funding application through the Economic Development Administration, EDA, for infrastructure improvements related to the development and expansion of the tourism industry. Whereas the City of Maysville has agreed to match 20% for funding of the project, as well as providing engineering services. Be it resolved by the City of Maysville that the mayor is authorized and directed to sign and execute any and all documents pertaining to application between the City of Maysville and the Economic Development Administration for infrastructure improvements related to the development and expansion of the tourism industry.
So moved.
second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes,
Commissioner Cartwell,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner McKay,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Cottrell.
Yes, ma'am. Resolution declaring October as National Arts and Humanities Month 21-70.
Resolution recognizing October as National Arts and Humanities Month. Whereas the coronavirus has had a devastating impact on America's arts sector, with 99% of producing and presenting organizations having canceled events and artists being among the most severely affected segment of the nation's workforce. Yet notwithstanding this fact, the arts have helped collectively lead us throughout the darkest times of the pandemic, lifting our spirits, unifying communities, and jumpstarting the economy. Whereas the nation's 120,000 nonprofit arts organizations, the National Endowment for the Arts, the National Endowment for the Humanities, the nation's 4,500 local arts agencies, and the Arts and Humanities Councils of the 50 states and the 6 U.S. jurisdictions and districts have regularly issued official proclamations on an annual basis designating October as National Arts and Humanities Month. Whereas the arts and humanities embody much of the accumulated wisdom, intellect, and imagination of humankind, whereas the arts and humanities enhance and enrich the lives of every American, whereas the arts and humanities play a unique role in the lives of our families, our communities, and our country, whereas cities and states throughout their local and state arts agencies representing thousands of cultural organizations have celebrated the value and importance of culture in the lives of Americans and the health of thriving communities during National Arts and Humanities Month for several years. Whereas the humanities help diverse communities across the United States explore their history and culture with the support and partnership of the National Endowment for the Humanities, the 50 state and 6 territorial and district humanities councils, and local educational and cultural institutions. Whereas the nation's arts and culture sector, nonprofit commercial education, is a $919.7 billion industry that supports 5.2 million jobs, 4.3% of the nation's economy, and boasts a $33 billion international trade surplus. Whereas the nonprofit arts industry alone generates $166.3 billion in economic activity annually, spending by organizations and their audiences, which supports 4.6 million jobs and generates $27.5 billion in government revenue. Whereas every attendee to an arts event spends $31.47 per person per event beyond the cost of admission on items such as meals, parking, and lodging, a vital income source for local businesses. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City of Maysville, Kentucky does hereby proclaim October as National Arts and Humanities Month and call upon our community members to celebrate and promote the arts and culture in our nation, and to specifically encourage the greater participation by those said community members in taking action for the arts and humanities in their towns and cities.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cartwell,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner McKay,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Cottrell.
Yes, ma'am. Resolution authorizing mayor to sign letter of support in support of Primary Plus Grant 21-71.
Resolution authorizing letter of support for Lewis County Primary Care, Inc., DBA Primary Plus, to seek grant renewal as a federally qualified health center. Be it resolved by the city of Maysville, Kentucky, that the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to execute a letter of support to the Lewis County Primary Care Center, Inc., doing business as Primary Plus, as they seek their grant renewal as a federally qualified health center.
I'll make that motion.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cartwell,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner McKay,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Cottrell.
Yes, ma'am. Resolution declaring National Long-Term Residents' Rights Month 21-72.
A resolution declaring National Long-Term Care Residents' Rights Month. Whereas there are 1.3 million individuals living in 15,600 nursing homes and over 800,000 individuals living in 28,900 assisted living / residential care facilities in the United States. And whereas the Federal Nursing Home Reform Act of 1987 guarantees residents their individual rights in order to promote and maintain their dignity and autonomy. And whereas all residents should be aware of their rights so they may be empowered to live with dignity and self-determination. And whereas we wish to honor and celebrate these citizens, to recognize their rich individuality and to reaffirm the right to vote and participate politically, including the right to have a say in their care. And whereas individuals and groups across the country will be celebrating Residents' Rights Month with the theme Reclaiming My Rights, My Home, My Life, to highlight the need for recognition of the long care facility as the resident's home and the importance of residents reclaiming their own lives. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the city of Maysville, Kentucky does hereby declare October as National Long-Term Care Residents' Rights Month and encourage all citizens to join me in these important observances.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cartwell,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner McKay,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Cottrell.
Yes, ma'am. Resolution declaring Kentucky Retired Teachers Week 21-73.
A resolution declaring Kentucky Retired Teachers Week. Whereas Kentucky's retired teachers have devoted their careers to the education and training of literally thousands upon thousands of Kentucky's youth. And whereas Kentucky's retired teachers have retrained and or provided primary educational opportunities to hundreds of adults in the state for whom, for one reason or other, had fallen behind in the formal education needed for job and social skills. And whereas Kentucky's retired teachers rendered valuable services in diverse leadership roles in their communities and institutions throughout their careers and continue to render such services as retirees. And whereas Kentucky's retired teachers represent the profession, which is given the basic excuse me, responsibility for launching the careers of state and national leaders and for laying the foundation for the welfare of all members of our society. And whereas Kentucky's retired teachers have toiled ceaselessly to improve the quality of life in the state and nation, too often in less than adequate circumstances and for less than adequate pay. Whereas Kentucky's retired teachers represent a tremendous pool of experience and training, which remains dedicated to the betterment of society everywhere. And whereas Kentucky's retired teachers represent a loyal, patriotic, and concerned citizenry, which provided a dedicated and dependable support to the leaders in our communities, state, and nation. And whereas Kentucky's 2021 General Assembly has honored Kentucky retired teachers by recognizing the third week of October as Kentucky Retired Teachers Appreciation Week. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the city of Maysville, Kentucky does hereby declare the third week of October as Kentucky Retired Teachers Appreciation Week and encourage all citizens to join in this important observance.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
yes.
Commissioner Cartwell,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner McKay,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Cottrell.
Yes, ma'am. Ordinance amending rental lease ordinance, first reading 21-13.
An ordinance amending Code of Ordinances, Chapter 200 to create subsection 200.16. Summary. This ordinance amends Code of Ordinances, Chapter 200 to create Section 200.16, which prohibits owners of rental property to allow repeated criminal activity to occur upon any rental property within city limits.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Oh, we got discussion.
Discussion, yes, ma'am.
I wouldn't, Mr. City Attorney, if you don't mind, I've read over this ordinance and it seems like it's part of the way there, but I don't know that it's all the way there. What is what's the penalty for this?
Okay, the penalty is contained or provided for in section 200.99, which is the section of the ordinance which will be immediately following this ordinance if it's enacted. And it provides that any person who rents or leases property to another in violation of any provision of this chapter shall have committed a civil offense. The Codes Enforcement Board shall have the power to issue remedial orders and impose civil fines to enforce this section. The fines are then listed in section 11.01B2 in our ordinances, and in section 11.01B2, the fine for a first offense of a violation of this ordinance, if it is passed, will be $100. The fine for a second offense would be $125, and the fine for any subsequent offenses would be $250 per offense.
Is that per day that they continue to rent to
It's
somebody or?
per offense. It's not cumulative per day. So it would be on the first time that the Codes Enforcement Board issues the citation, they could be fined $100 per offense. Offense, not per day.
Can a property owner terminate a lease for something that's not in their lease? I mean, I have something in my leases about law enforcement being called, but not necessarily for what's being considered in this ordinance. How is the district judge going to feel about landlord terminating a lease in which this isn't illegal?
I don't know what every landlord has. I mean, I can't speak to what everybody has in their leases, but I would think that, if someone is repeatedly allowing criminal, or if a tenant is repeatedly breaking the law, that would be grounds for asking a court to forcibly detain them and give the property back to the landlord.
Are there any provisions for requiring notice to property owners of violations of the law?
Yes, there's, and that was a concern when this ordinance was first discussed, either last meeting or one of our prior meetings. So I inserted some language in the proposed ordinance that said property owners are to be placed on written notice if any of the preceding events occur, and will be deemed to have knowledge of these events once given notice. The events meaning the repeated illegal activity in the property. And then
Kelly, can I ask you, so you're saying that if Nicole, the codes enforcement delivers a citation, then the property owner is notified?
no, it wouldn't be a citation first. The property owner is going to be warned first.
Okay,
So that was put in here to address your all's concerns, the last time we were discussing this. So when the chief of police notifies Nicole that he's having a problem and police are repeatedly being sent or asked to come to an address and it's a rental address, then Nicole is going to be placed on, or will place the property owner on notice that there's a problem. The first written notice will serve as a warning. Okay, so you all didn't want, or there was concern about the first time resulting in a citation. So we put in here that the first written notice will be a warning. Okay, upon any citation after that, then that could lead to the citation.
And that's very similar to anything else we do. Let's take tall grass, for example. If somebody has tall grass and it's a rental property, we will send notice that says, hey, you're in violation. You've got X number of days to cut the grass. We don't fine them or do anything. It basically puts them on notice that you need to fix the problem. After that, if they don't, then we send a citation, which says, okay, now you got another X number of days, plus you got to pay this fine.
Well, with tall grass, you take a ruler out and you measure the length of the grass, but this apparently is people who are just cited for it. It doesn't even contemplate a conviction. I think that people should be convicted of the crime before a landlord is held liable or required to put people out, or that the landlord be reimbursed for the cost of putting somebody out. I think some work needs to be done to this before it's airtight, and I'm not sure tonight's the night to take an action on it personally.
Chief, didn't you say that you were going to make every effort to contact people personally
Almost everyone.
before we even
And you
send a
already-
written notice?
And I'm already
Before the
doing that.
written notice even
Sure,
goes out?
sure. And that's one thing I would say to all of you is I usually don't come to you to ask you to change any ordinances, or if this is an issue and I need your help. And if I don't have your help, then I'm just kind of twiddling my thumbs and telling the neighbors, hey, sorry, there's really not a whole lot I can do.
I
So
agree.
That's why I'm here asking for this help.
And similar to what you're saying, Commissioner, is Nicole will do the same thing, particularly with the rental license ordinance and the list of phone numbers she has. She'll pick up the phone first, say, hey, I need you to get this taken care of or that taken care of. You know, we do try to place a courtesy call before.
Well,
we
she
send
does that
anything out.
now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She does it
that
now.
Yeah, we're doing that now. with
Yeah.
that already. It's very similar process.
Chief of police would also.
Yeah,
Add to that too.
credence.
Yeah.
I agree.
any other?
I'm a big fan of the city and police department, and I know things are going wrong, but I'm not sure this is ready yet. So I would ask that it be deferred till we can put some more language in it.
At this point, and totally understand, Andrew, you've got a motion and a second. We do a roll call, and then obviously if it's voted down, then we can go back to the drawing board, or, you know, however Kelly directs me.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cartmel,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
No,
Commissioner McKay,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Cottrell.
Yes. Closed session pursuant to KRS 61.8101F, discussion which might lead to the appointment of an individual employee.
And Mayor, to elaborate on that, there won't be any action taken when we get done. We're talking about a discussion of appointment in the utility department for next month.
Okay. I need a
Shouldn't take very
motion.
long.
Take the motion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cartmel,
No.
Commissioner Wood,
yes.
Commissioner McKay,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Cottrell.
Yes, ma'am. Reverend Burton, thank you for coming.
No, I don't need you. No, we're good.
Thank you for coming, Reverend Burton.
I see Ron and Mark.
That's fine. Thank you.
Thanks, Billy.
Yes, I am.
Fire hats. Do I get a fire hat? I'm
Have
sorry,
you
for
heard any
Alex. Do I get a
more?
fire hat for Alex?
Have you heard any more from your mom?
They couldn't get a bed. They're putting her in Phillipsburg. Keep her comfortable until find somebody to just go drawing up blood again. Bad. Thank you for asking.
You don't know to go in closed session.
Oh, thank you.
That's what I heard.
Where'd Kelly go?
I don't know. I don't think we need him anymore. I think we can finish out with that.
I'm looking for a motion to come back into session.
I make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cartmel,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner McKay,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Cottrell.
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor
Well,
Cottrell, that's all I have for you this evening.
thank
Motion
you.
to adjourn?
I make that motion.
I'll second it. I'll second both those motions.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cartmel,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes, twice.
Commissioner McKay,
Twice, yes, ma'am.
Mayor Cottrell.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.